Welcome to the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger. We're going to go into good numbers and bad numbers. We got the inventory report in. We're going to talk about how just quit whining and dip your toe in the market. How many rentals should you have?
It's a great time for a buyer to dip their toe in the market after we go over these numbers.
How many investment properties are the right number of properties to have? We're going to talk about all that today on the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. Bruce, what do you got?
Well, I want to talk about what's going on with interest rates and what's happening with the Fed. Is the Fed going to drop the rates? Are they going to fire Powell? I know that we have a lot of pressure from the European central banks to drop rates. Trump is all up in it. And I want to talk about the pros and cons of a rate cut by the Fed. So we want to cover that. And I want to talk about who is buying and where the opportunities are, because I just think that the first-time home buyer is asleep at the wheel right now, and they have a window of opportunity that if they don't jump on it, they're going to miss out. And I'm seeing that this is a huge opportunity. I'm shouting it from the rooftops, and yet I still think it's falling on a lot of deaf ears. And when I shout something out, you should pay attention.
Yep. We kind of know what we're talking about.
We do know what we're talking about. And it's not a sales pitch. Believe me, I am seeing deals being had for buyers right and left. And yet there's not enough buyers jumping in the market, and they could take advantage of this. And rates are still pretty attractive. I mean, you're talking about 30-year fixed rates running in the high sixes. I actually locked a client in. Listen to this. I locked a client in at 5.625% yesterday.
Hold on. 15-year?
30-year.
Well, how'd that
30-year. High credit scores, purchase transaction, 5% down, and he only paid like 2 points, but he had high credit scores in the fives.
Wow.
I'm telling you, if you got high credit scores, I have a VIP program for high credit scores, easy close deals. So if you are W-2 wage earner, you're easy to document, you got debt ratios under 47%, you're putting, I don't care if you're putting 5% down or 25% down, makes no difference. Owner occupied, high credit scores, you need to call me now.
Yep.
And if you're looking to refinance, it's starting to get a little bit more attractive. I do have my VIP watch list. It's extensive. I do think that if you're trying to just drop your rate on a refi, you're probably better off to wait till after September. Let's see what happens with this whole.
This is wrapping up other debt.
Yep. But now for debt consolidation, very, very attractive for debt consolidation right now.
Yep. And then I want to go on these numbers on inventory, Bruce. This is good news, but inventory held the same. We've had about 13,500 homes the past 4 months, and June's numbers are the same. Now the sales is what's lagging. We're a little bit behind.
Sales are down by 7%.
They're down from last year, and that's unusual for the summer. Usually the summer we sell 3,000 homes a month in Central Florida, 3,500 we're booming, and we only sold 2,600. So that's different. But the inventory holding at about a 5.5 month supply, that's a seller's market. We're still seeing slight appreciation, but I think what's good.
These numbers are so weird because the numbers show you're in a seller's market, but when you have sales that are down, at the closed sales down 3.4% from last month to this month. Annually, sales down 1.5%. Not a lot, but it's still down.
Yep.
But what does that tell you? When there is down for one, it's up for another. It tells me that this is the buying signal, that you are starting to see sellers are having to get realistic with their pricing.
They do. And then there's different degrees of a seller's market and a buyer's market. Obviously, we're in a blasé seller's market where prices are slightly rising, but you got competition as compared to a 1 month supply where you've got 5 offers on every home. Yes. So, and this also depends on where are you at? What's your market? Are you 5 acres with a 5,000 square foot home on it? Are you a mega mansion with 4,000 square feet lakefront? Are you a starter home with 1,200 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths?
Right.
That's what I interpret for you when I meet with you if you need a real estate plan. But the good number here, Bruce, is the number of new listings is down below last year.
Yes.
So despite sales being a little lower, like last year for the first couple months of the year, there was about 4,100, 4,200, 4,500 homes listed. Last couple months here, it's been below that. We've been lower, 4,100, 4,300, 4,200, 3,900 compared to last year's 4,100. So inventory, the number of new listings is down slightly. So with the slower sales doesn't mean inventory's
Well, you're going
ballooning.
to have less sales if you have less
Yeah.
inventory.
Yeah. And so, but we're not in a market where there's, thousands upon thousands of foreclosures and all of a sudden, nobody's buying anything. So homes are still moving. You've just got to be the sharpest, the shiniest penny out of the 10 they go look at, and you'll get a contract, and I can help you with that. So call me if you need to make a real estate plan, selling or buying. Call me 407-352-8118. Or if you've got property management, you got tenants. I just took over 4 homes for a gentleman. His rates were way below market. He's got one guy tearing his property up. He's got another guy.
You mean his rental rates?
His rent, the rent,
rent that he was
is way below. And then he's got one guy tearing the property up. He's hoarding. He's got another guy that never pays him on time. Well, there's a new sheriff in town. Loveland Properties just took those over for him.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I told him, I said, you need to block the calls from the tenant because they're going to
Judd Loveland.
Yeah, they're going to squeal like little babies when they start seeing the new rules and what we bring down on them. As far as just enforcing the lease, that's what should happen with professional management. But my seller's like, he's semi-retired, he's ready to retire fully, and he doesn't want to mess with this stuff, and it's just a headache. He doesn't want to deal with it. So I'm taking all that over for him. Take it over, and he'll make more money off all those things.
Isn't that great?
You need that? Call me at 407-352-8118 or go to cleveloveland.com.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about interest rates. I'm Bruce Woodburn, the loan arranger, Cross Country Mortgage, 35 years in the lending industry, right here in your backyard. And we are a direct lender. We do everything in-house from start to finish, even servicing 90% of our portfolio. Interest rates dropped from 6.8% average in May to 6.7% in June. These are not July's numbers. I think July is about the same as June, but maybe even May. We did not have a great week last week in the market, but it wasn't horrible. I mean, we didn't see any large increases, but interest rates, I'm seeing people are starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with them because they're not in the 7s. However, I think that if you want to buy now and you are not looking in the market, you are missing out on an opportunity. Because when I look at these numbers and inventory is down, sales are down, prices fell. Listen to this. Prices fell. This is the first time I've seen this, Cleve. $5,000 in 1 month. That's 1.3% on the median income fell. Now, if you're a seller, you probably had to get a little bit realistic on your price. But if you're a buyer, what an opportunity you just got. And yet, so many of you don't jump in the market. So anytime somebody is having, so it's down for one is up for another. So down for sellers, up for buyers. Buyers, call me now at 407-250-9144. Write my number down, please. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Let's get your application started. It's the easiest process. Everything's done in-house. I guarantee you my rates are the best that you're going to get. I'm going to get you an amazing rate. And if you need no down payment loans, I got them. Low down payment, I got them. First time, I got them. Move up. I'm doing tons of DSCRs right now. Investors are not afraid of this market.
No. I mean, Central Florida is growing. Look at everything that's happening. DeSantis, I got to get more details on this. DeSantis talking about eliminating a big chunk of everybody's property taxes and raising the sales tax. I think that's a genius idea. How much more affordable would that make, Bruce, if all of a sudden everybody's property taxes went down?
Well,
50,
I'd
60%.
like to see insurance continue to go down. It's amazing.
And that is happening. I just had that. Our friend John Tankersley got that done.
Happening. I hope it's happening. But when I look at doing loans, and like I'm doing one in Alabama right now, and I'm like, it's insane because they get just as bad a weather in Alabama as we do here.
Yeah.
But they're not paying what we're paying in Florida for insurance. So I think Floridians
the market is open. There are more players coming into the market. So it is going down slowly, but surely. I just really think right now is the time to buy. And those DSCRs you've got, tell everybody what that is.
So a DSCR is a debt service coverage ratio. That's what it means. Now, that doesn't mean anything to you. Here's ultimately what that means. If you want to buy a home as an investment property, not primary residence, not vacation home, investment property. I do not need your tax returns for you to buy that property. On a DSCR, the only income that I'm using is the income that's produced from the rent on the home that you're buying. You got to have decent credit, 680.
Yep.
I can go as low as 600, on some of those.
Yep.
So you can put 20% down, 25 or 30%. I don't need your bank statements, and my interest rates on those loans are as competitive as a conventional investment transaction,
Yeah.
maybe even lower
Yeah. I've heard
than
some
a
of them. Yeah.
conventional loan. It's just insane how attractive they are. So if you want to be an investor, you got your 25% to put down. I've got the product to do it, even 20%. So DSCRs, very popular. Bank statement programs, very, very popular. I've got whatever you need to get you in that house, including 100% financing.
Yep.
I mean, USDA, VA, tons of VA loans right now. Veterans, don't think that USAA is your place to go. I promise you, go ahead and shop them. Shop me. I promise you, you're going to come back to me. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for people to jump in this market. And veterans, when you come to Cleve and we will negotiate your closing costs be paid by the seller so that you can get in for not just no down payment, but close to, if not no money out of pocket completely, because we love fighting for you veterans. So veterans, let me help you get into your next home. Let me help you refinance your next home. That's what we do around here.
All right, Bruce, I want to talk about something I've been seeing here. There's a little trend. Every month there's about, let's say we got 13,000 listings. Every month, about 10%, no matter how many listings we have, every month, about 10% of the people give up, Bruce.
Yes.
And some come back on the market. They interview a different realtor. I just had one, hadn't spoken to their realtor in 3 months. And I went over and showed them what I do. They're like, oh my God, should have picked you first. But they couldn't get out of the contract because they didn't have an easy exit listing. But delisting, and this is what's important. When somebody just comes off the market, there's some people not returning to the market. They were kind of misled up front. Like, oh, sure, you want $599? Well, when everybody's selling for $525, that's kind of hard to do. And they're not being told the real story. And I always think of Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth, but I will tell you the truth on what's going on around you. Now, here's what's important, though. If somebody's moving and buying again, you got to weigh that out, because if you're waiting for your house to go up to $599 and it's really worth $525, the house you're buying is probably, even if you're moving up or down, the house you're buying is going up too. So what's the difference? So what's the lifestyle change you want? Are you tired of the big house because you're rattling around inside of it like a bean inside of a coffee can? Or it's just the kids are gone, you don't want them to move back after college, you want to make the house smaller? Or you do need more space, the family's growing, or you just want something bigger, you want a bigger yard, whatever it might be. That's why it's important to call me, and I'll help you lay out a plan for that. But I have some people that are just totally not informed about what's going on in the market, and they've been listed, and they call me, they hear me on the radio, and I'll go out and see them and show them what the sales are. And they'll say, oh, okay, the market's not that bad. It is moving, because our market is still moving, Bruce. We still got a good number of sales, but you do have competition and you have to be aware. You got 5 neighbors on the market at 549.9. You need to be 539.9. But most realtors do not know how to do a market analysis. Most realtors do not review that market with you every couple weeks. And you got to be the shiniest penny. Like I said, you got to look good. I just had one owner that we just restaged his house, got him back on the market. I'll have offers on that in the next week. Call me at 407-352-8118 for Cleve, Loveland.
Yeah, or call the Lone Ranger at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. When we come back, I want to talk about hurricanes and how they can affect your closing. And I want to talk about 3D printed houses. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Cleve and I will be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. Again, Cleve can be reached at 407-352-8118 or Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger, at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Be right back.